12 points over the 12 days of Christmas. I guess in the end, Soph Stradamus called it. It was a Christmas Arsenal. Let's rock and roll, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Gali meragali speragali nichta. No matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be, thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Starting to get dizzy at the top of the table. Speaking of dizzy, makes you guys dizzy sometimes. Back at Squad Central to help me dissect and discuss, James Johnston. Bash, bash, bash.
At ease.
At ease, everyone. At ease, squaddies. I forgot to put the show was live on the old Twitter. So welcome, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone has had a happy new year. Happy new year to each and every single one of you, no matter where around this planet you might be listening. And we have listeners from all countries and cultures, which we're really proud of. I wish you all nothing but great health, happiness, and a few adventures along the way. Plus, something shiny to put in the cabinet at the end of the season. Make sure you hit the like button and listen to our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Stills. Those listening on Apple and Spotify, thank you as well for joining. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss a show. And apologies for the late post of the Aston Villa post-match show. We had a bit of a technical glitch, as did I, which is why we're a little bit late. So no yellow card for me because I'm the host. James, let's start the tippy top of the Arsenal mountain as I remind everyone who follow us on X to join Squad Central now. The starting lineup came out and I didn't have too much of an issue with it. The return of Declan Rice. What did you think of the starting lineup, James?
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected. However, I don't mind that rotation at all. I was very, very happy to see Declan Rice back in the squad. The only thing that did stand out to me and made me have a slight chuckle, Sophie, was Havertz isn't in the squad due to load management. I'm like, well, he hasn't played. All he did against Aston Villa was sit and watch. I went, how's it? And they were like, oh no, it's not a fresh injury. It's just managing the load. I'm like, what? Can he not even sit? Can he not sit and watch a game without hurting himself now? Then I'm like, oh my God, I'm like this club. But no, other than that, didn't have any issues with it at all, Sophie. So yeah, and again, the rotation come off because I thought Madueke was brilliant. I know you'll probably touch on that a bit later.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna get stuck into that. Oh, look who showed up for a post-game show. Prince Albert is here. Hey. Welcome.
So thank you, Jay. Thank you, Soph. Prince Albert has many other terms, but I'll keep it PC before Watershed.
Albert, what did you make of the starting lineup?
I messaged James, actually. I think I might message you, but you might not have seen it. I actually didn't have an issue with it. I think when we talk about squad depth, we don't just mean in terms of numbers. I mean people who can come in and actually do a job, or actually do more than a job, actually come and affect the team and affect the game. So I think starting with Madueke and Martinelli, it gives you more pace in the side. I don't mean that in the sense that Saka's some kind of slouch or snail, but it allows us to be more direct and have a bit more purpose in the wide areas. So I didn't have an issue with the team lineup at all. And you looked at the bench and you thought, if things don't sort of start well or go well, then you have got the reinforcements. But in terms of lineup, no issues with it at all.
I'm in agreement with you guys. I think that seeing Declan Rice back, there's always the worry that is he coming back too soon? Didn't look like he had skipped or missed a beat. And in a time where, this is it now. This is 20 games in. We're halfway through the season and it's do or die. And everyone needs to be fit. And we're getting players back at the right time as well. There's an FA Cup game sandwiched in between Premier League fixtures. But can we just say James, do your screen down a little bit so it doesn't look like you're, can we just say 12 points, guys? 12 points. And I'd like to rewind just a little bit as well to the start of the season where everyone was worried about our fixture list and people were talking about how many points do you think Arsenal were going to get from their first 7 fixtures. It's a tough schedule when you look at the away games that we've had so far this season too. And I think this was a really important away game to win. They did the double on us last year. There was payback involved in this match. Bournemouth started off the season great, dipped, but seemed to have found their groove again. We played Aston Villa when they were on the ascendancy. We played a Bournemouth side that had rediscovered their confidence. When you look at our overall fixture list over the holidays, before we get stuck into this game, can we just give a massive round of applause to the team and the manager for coming away from these fixtures with 12 points? If this was the Eurovision Song Contest, the Arsenal would win. And 12 points goes to Les Gunners. It's a massive achievement, Albert.
Sorry, yes, no, it is. I took myself off mute. Otherwise, it'd have been a very, very, very slow reply. Now, listen, no, it is, Sophie. We sort of spoke about Arsenal's fixtures sort of during this December period coming into the new year. And we've got some players back, still some to come back, but to reconnect the 2 centre backs is very important. I think they said during the match that it's been quite a while since they've both played or started the game together. So that's important to get that nucleus back. And what's that, 5 wins on the spin, Sophie, is it, in the Premier League? Yeah, that's
great.
Fantastic. It is fantastic. And you sort of touched me. You made a good point when I came on sort of post-match after the Villa game, where it's much warmer today doing the podcast today than it was in the week. But it is, like you said, the blue-collar Arsenal. It's we messaged during the game, and the first half was exactly identical to the Villa game as it was today. I can't see there was any difference. They started pretty brightly, actually, but Arsenal. Listen, I know we do these podcasts week in, week out, and we're lucky enough to be invited onto other channels, and we really, really do dissect Arsenal a lot. Wins, draws. It's just very up and down. It even reflects in some of the chat box talks as well. But the cold, hard light of day is when it came to when the rivals slip up in his title run or don't win games, Arsenal have taken advantage, to be honest. So if you look throughout the course of the season, certain game weeks that City have lost and Liverpool lost at the time, Arsenal had to go and win today by hook or by crook. And we've done it. Better second half performance, a bit different from the one against Villa, but Sophie, more than effective.
Let me read out some comments for you guys. Here's one from Tebow. Make no mistake, that was the toughest away fixture aside from Brighton and City. Taylor in Talk Magazine says we managed the last 15 minutes so well. Markey says amazing quality to bring off the bench, and Arteta made early subs. Let's see. Demsek, poor old Gyökeres won't get credit for his play before the first Rice goal. Oh, he will on this show. Yes, he will. Lee Highbury Halls, Happy New Year. Are we getting concerned with the Gyökeres situation? Absolutely not. And 235100 said Madueke played well. I don't worry about him playing instead of Saka. Thibaut Pesca, Zubi's first half was the worst I've seen him play, was better in the second. NTX Dad ended up being a nervy win, but got 3 points in the bag. In other news, Eza and Waneri, the only two who can adequately sub. Martin Odegaard and who?
MIA.
MIA. Hope we can make it through January. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Eugene, Arsenal fans, it's time to back Arteta and the team. At this stage, our focus is to score more goals and not keep the clean sheet. Some fans didn't want Rice to play, yet he scored 2 goals. Excellent points.
Sophie, can I ask you who those fans were that didn't want Declan Rice to play?
Because
I didn't know they existed. I thought everybody today was like, we need after watching Mikel Merino the other night. I think everybody was going, I want Declan Rice back ASAP, please.
If I saw a few people say that they'd rather he was rested, and a few people in my WhatsApp group also said that they would rather that he was rested. And
in the Hague, get him in the Hague, lock him up.
So let's start at the very beginning, and again, a little bit like Aston Villa. What did Sostradamus say to you guys? Okay, here I'm going to toot my own horn for just a second here. I put out saying second half Arsenal incoming. So many people in my WhatsApp groups getting panicked and whatever. And I said on TalkSport at least 6 weeks ago now that this is a blue collar team that likes to drink champagne sometimes. Mm-hmm. And over the holiday period, I think Mikel Arteta, and we're going to get to him at the very end, he deserved, this is for me, his best managerial period as Arsenal gaffer. This was intense. Our season started off intense. The holiday fixture list was intense. Once again, like we did see against Aston Villa in the first half, I think now we're not toying with our opposition, but there's this sense of we know who we are. And this is what I've been saying and what I said on the sports bar on Friday night as well. We know who we are. Stop trying to put us in a category that we're not. You guys want Arsenal to be something, but this Arsenal team and the manager knows exactly who they are. And once again, in the first half, you're reading the opposition. You're giving them this, I not think full sense of security, but you're tiring them out. This is a very physical game. Bournemouth did a lot in that first half, and they deserved to, if it was a first half based on here's your award for the winner of the first half, Bournemouth would get that award. But it's blue collar Arsenal, you know, just fighting, grinding, rolling their sleeves up. And we'll get to the second half in a minute. But I like blue collar Arsenal. I don't know why people were posting online another poor performance. This is a glass of wine, not a shot of vodka. You've got to conserve energy. And I think there's a strategy now more than ever to how we're playing in the first half. James, I like blue collar Arsenal. I know you don't. I don't think Albert is a huge fan either. A first half to forget, but one for me to just remember that despite the fact that we don't play well, we're resilient.
Yeah, and look, let's get it right. I can't sit here and say that I fully commend at the end of the half when you're penetrating towards a box that you're just recycling possession over and over and over again. That to me towards the end of the half was getting me slightly frustrated. However, no team has gone there and scored more than 3 goals other than us and West Ham. We haven't been behind in the league and come back since Newcastle. So yeah, and like you said, Mikel's best. What Mikel Arteta, Sophie, I mentioned it in the last podcast and I'll mention it again. And some of it, you know, we can have the discussion whether it's his own fault or not, but that's a different podcast for a different day. But how he is dealing with the amount that he's dealing with, injury-wise and what have you, is unprecedented. And he's handled the assignment perfectly with all the points that he's getting. And like you said earlier, 5 undefeated in a row. So for me, yeah, was that first half the greatest? No. But again, like we saw against Aston Villa, something gets said at halftime, clearly. And they come out here and they do their job. And what I liked as well is Gabriel, he didn't have to hit that pass first time, but he knew he messed up. And he was fuming with himself. And you could have thought there, you're going to, you know, that's going to really, really affect you mentally. Are you going to spiral? No, within 6 minutes, he goes, bang, I'll get up the other box, have that. You know, here I am. And that just, again, just shows the characters and the levels that this team has gone up. Because I think, you know, you've got to be completely blinkered if you cannot see that there is a vast improvement, not just from the additions that we've made, but there's more of a belief. And there's certainly a character that is in this side that is resilient. And I agree with what was said earlier. That last 15 minutes was superb. I know we're talking about the first half, so I'll carry on there. But yeah, for me, to bounce back with that quick and from the same player that made the mistake, I think that's massive. I think that, again, I think that's massive from him, not just as a player, but as a character. I think that's huge from Gabriel. I really do.
Oh, it's so frozen. Or was it me?
I think they might have.
Oh no, I was sorry. I was going to say 2 seasons ago. I was thinking. Then here's what.
Sorry.
Okay, why would that be?
No.
Were you going? Oh, James has said something so profound.
No. You know what I was thinking, and then I was thinking, but not speaking it. It's so weird. I'm so tired. Who was it against Fulham who scored the own goal, and then went and scored 2 seasons ago? Was it Gabby or Saliba? One of the two. Anyway,
I think it was Saliba.
Any hoot, to make that mistake, and you could see just how much it really irked him, right? And we've seen him do that early in his Arsenal career. He's been so immense, and I was so confident. I swear, I don't know. It's because of him. They've all made me a believer. I was so confident, Albert, that he would bounce back, and he bounced back really quickly. The resiliency part of blue collar Arsenal, right? Made a mistake, didn't lose focus, didn't go mentally weak, actually, tried to engineer something, even though it was frustrating you guys circling around and not making, passes, to the flanks and through the middle and going around in circles. But this was a huge moment for Big Gabby, Albert.
Yeah, massive. I mean, I won't repeat what I said at the time when when he made the mistake, because it's just unnecessary. I think Mark made a good point in the chat, touching off what James said in terms of Arsenal recycling the ball and probably moving the ball a bit quicker in terms of going forward, and that came from Arsenal sort of what they do a lot, recycling the ball. But it's a really, really poor error, and you thought them kind of so a few mistakes happen. Let's have it right, like, experienced or not. But you thought with the King of Brazil, those days had surpassed him and gone by. But I think he's just given us a little bit of a reminder that Christmas wasn't over just yet. But 6 minutes later, Sophie puts it right. And to be honest, even at the time when we scored, I actually wasn't sure who it was. And I thought, you know what? Poetry in motion. How of course it had to be him. Good finish, by the way. It looked a lot simpler than it did, but it's a really good finish for someone that's obviously not a striker. But that's how you eradicate or put errors behind you, Sophie, by making amends. And you can't get better than that, than scoring the goal to make it 1-1. We can talk about his defensive work, but for that immediate sort of moment that happened to him 6 minutes earlier to sort of get us back in the game, absolutely fantastic. I praised him, when I came on post-match saying we missed his presence. We don't miss that part when he does that, but we do miss his presence. But to get him back with his partner in crime, Mr. Cool Cucumber, William Saliba, it's a beautiful thing to see.
You're muted, Sophie.
Okay, I'm muted now. Now I'm muted. It was great to see him get the goal and get it so quickly. It wasn't a great first half, but a player I would like to point out first half is this guy, Noni Madueke. I thought that everything that potentially dangerous was going to happen was happening through Noni, and his fearlessness. It's funny because I was asking the guys in my WhatsApp group, do you think that Noni offers something that Saka doesn't? I'm not saying Noni is better than Saka. And the conclusion that we came to was that Noni is better at driving forward and dribbling and having that confidence and that belief, but Saka's end product is better. I thought in a workmanlike first half, Noni was the cufflinks a little bit, James, and the sip of champagne.
Yeah, let's get it right. The true fair for Bournemouth. He's made people's half team of the seasons. This isn't a slouch at left back, and he made him look like one. Some of the stuff that he was doing was superb, and yeah, you've got it out right, Sophie. Saka, we know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be there and he's going to try and cut through and go on that left foot and what have you, and bend one top corner or slot one in or slot a player in. Madueke can do that, but what I like as well is that he's like a traditional winger, and he'll go to the byline and try and whip crosses in and what have you as well. So yeah, I mean, the moment in the first half where he had to just, like Declan Rice's goals, he just had to pass that in the net. He shouldn't have blasted it as hard as he did. But yeah, and that's a great comment from Josh. Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah, and I'm really happy that he that he's being the player that he is and he's doing what he's doing, because again, talking about mentality, this guy had a petition to not, supposed fans of this club set up a petition saying how much they did not want this player at the club. So he's had to come, take all that on the chin and come back himself. And again, he's been brilliant. He really, really has. And like you said, Sophie, you got to use this squad. What is it? 9 games in less than a cup, before the end of the month still. So you got to make sure, we mentioned it. You got to make them feel valued. You got to trust them. And yeah, he put the trust in him today, and he done a good job. You can see why, when he's asked to defend, probably why he's not been playing, because he has not got any defensive instinct at all, really, this lad. However,
I thought his defending was much better in the first half in this.
Oh, there was a couple where they had crosses, and it was just like, he is standing. He did not want to get involved at. I was like, you're going to close him down. You're just going to stand there, and whatever, if that's who he is, that's who he is. But you making him go the other way, superb, and that can be worked on. He's not a complete write-off. So yeah, fantastic. I all the power to him. I thought he was great, really did.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of love in the chat. Albert is Noni, and a lot of people agreeing. And I think, again, you don't realize the importance of a transfer window until the season ensues, right? You're going to start. I still believe that we'll look back and be thankful that we got someone like a Norgard. We'll be thankful that at the beginning, so many Arsenal fans were in uproar about Noni Madueke, but he hasn't let us down. Maybe a couple of games, the Chelsea game, he kind of disappeared in, but he came on as a sub. Maybe his substitution appearances haven't been all that great. But overall, I think that, he's been a tremendous addition to the side. Can we just get the elephant out of the room before we start waxing lyrical about some other players and the second half? Let's talk about the fact that Eza can't buy a vowel in this Arsenal team. I'm just going to ask you guys this. So there was no substitution appearance for Eza. There was no room in the matchday squad for Nwaneri, unless I got that wrong. Is there something that Eza did that has pissed MIKEL off? I'm not talking privately. MIKEL wears his heart on his sleeve when players make mistakes on the pitch. Kivior was ostracized for a while after the Bayern Munich game. We've seen people, players like Emile Smith-Rowe do good things, but they're not doing enough defensively. Nwaneri. Is there, Albert, can you pinpoint a game, or is there something Eza isn't doing defensively even to come on for 20 minutes in a match like this?
Well, in terms of the defensive side of it, I think, I'm assuming MIKEL hasn't been sleeping under the rock before we bought him. He would have known that what his defensive capabilities are. Of course, you can want more and you work under a different manager, but
K Marlon is saying he's paying for that Matty Cash cover. Wow.
God, if he's still paying for that, then he might as well go on holiday. He might as well go on holiday for the rest of January. No, Sophie, I just think I don't think in terms of reading too much into it, I just think it's a case of
I don't want to create drama or read too much into it, Albert. I'm asking is, has he done something on the pitch that we've all seen? And I think what K Marlon said is, there's some weight to that because MIKEL doesn't let things go.
I mean, if the answer to that is it's a possibility, but I just think in terms of the dynamic where you've got Martin Odegaard, who's the captain and is MIKEL's main man. I think 9 times out of 10, twice on Sundays. If you to ask yourself and be honest as an Arsenal fan, who's going to start ahead? Who's going to start Eze or Odegaard? I think we all know the answer to that, and that's what's happening at the moment. If it's partly down to what was mentioned in the comment in regards to the Villa game, I'm like, we got many more games to put that right. If he's really holding that against him, I'd be shocked if that is the case. But as you mentioned, Sophie, Mikel does hold that kind of does have that in him in terms of players not doing what he asks, probably more so off the ball. But I guess we'll see how it plays out for the rest of the month, Sophie, in terms of the games where someone mentioned in the chat there are plenty of games to come, but you do think to yourself, you paid a lot of money for a guy who's meant to be a maverick and kind of
I have a
moments.
I have a feeling that he'll probably play in the Portsmouth FA Cup third round game, the semi-final maybe against Chelsea in the EFL Cup. We've got Liverpool next, then the 2 cup games, and then Forest on the 17th, Inter in the Champions League, and then we have Manchester United. It is quite a January, and you would expect a lot of those players to get their shot. Right. Let me just read some of the Eze comments from the squaddies. Eze was at fault for the Villa away goal, stood there. As much as he's grown as a manager this season. Oh, that's not an Eze one. Doug says, Eze still has the hat-trick and Crystal Palace goals. I think he starts in the FA Cup. Let's see. Mikel puts high value on players doing their defensive work and following instructions. Definitely said that. Cincinnati, Eze used to picking up positions just outside the D, and he's been asked to play completely differently. Maskana says, I agree, was completely AWOL for Matty Cash. It was stupid, lazy, or both. Is he truly ready? I think he's proven that he's ready. And let's not forget his heroics in the FA Cup against Manchester City. Arteta doesn't like showman. Eze is a showman. Arteta likes more control. I think Noni's a bit of a showman, and he's getting some minutes. Okay, so let's then move to the second half, and let's discuss the return of Declan Rice, of course, with his 2 goals. But before we do that, I would like to discuss the Captain Fan. I'm here. I'm just taking a beat. A beat. Thanks to Guna Chris, Arsenal N7, for this image of Martin Odegaard as the maestro. The conductor is back holding his baton. And the last time Odegaard and Rice had a moment, the thumbnail to this show was brothers in armbands. Not brothers in arms, brothers in armbands. And this is part 2 right here. Let's discuss first Odegaard. And Albert, you sent something to me that was interesting. And James, actually, I'll start with you here, was you talked about his work rate in the first half and how he was having to come and collect the ball. Sometimes we've seen him go too deep unnecessarily to collect the ball, but Zubimendi was so poor in the first half. And let's be honest, Declan Rice did not have a great first half. Odegaard, once again, seems to have found his groove. Is the conductor really back?
For me, yes. Yeah. You know, I've been sat here the last couple of weeks saying, you need to post up numbers. We need to get that number up. He's played 3 games. He's got 2 assists and a goal. That's all I want. Can you get me numbers? And he's done it. In the last 3 games, he's done it. I can't understand a lot of people saying that he was terrible. And, you know, that's not true at all. Sorry. Wholeheartedly disagree with that.
Well, tell the people who are listening on audio what the comment is so they can follow.
Yeah, so Odegaard has 1 decent game in 6. I think he's had 3 decent games on the spin. He's done what he needs to do. He threaded the ball, and people have been scoring from it. Superb, and he scored a goal himself. Yeah. Look, for me, if he keeps playing like that, I ain't going to complain. I thought first half, like you said, Zubimendi and Declan Rice did not have the best of games at all. But second, they both grew into it. But for me, Odegaard had to do a bit more, like you said, a bit more blue collar. And he showed that he has got that side to his game. And you know what else, Sophie? And I got absolutely railed for it, but I'll mention it here. 24 passes into the final third today from Martin Odegaard. When you play 8, I need to see you putting that ball into the box. I don't want you going backwards. I don't want you going sideways. Like you put the picture up. When you're an orchestra, when you're the conductor of the orchestra, conduct. I don't like sideways and I don't like backwards. He put 24 in there. Whether they come off with anything at the end, he put 24 out of 29 in there, and you can't moan at that.
Yeah, I thought that he was great today. And Albert, once again, combining with Declan Rice, the two of them seem to have a really great relationship. You can tell the way they celebrate goals together. But a great finish and a great moment to have Declan Rice back. The first goal, however, dare I say this out loud? Does that first goal happen without the movement and positioning, Albert, of one Victor Gyökeres? And I don't want to rush the conversation too much. You guys know how I don't like to do that. But when Victor Gyökeres went off, we conceded again. And we're going to talk about that before we wax lyrical about Declan Rice. Gyökeres took two...
Sorry, Sophie. There's a comment here saying, why does Odegaard continually bottle challenges? He had three, and he won 2 out of the 3. There was 3 tackles that he made. He made 3 out of the 2.
I think there's one incident in the second half. I think that's what the person might be talking about who said that.
Well, okay, so let's say that you've been out injured a lot, and now you're seeing the best of Martin Odegaard again because he's probably pain-free, a little injury-free. And we do see players duck out of challenges when they just come back from an injury. This happens. Is it right? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that challenge. I did notice he did that when, Albert, do you remember in the Champions League?
Yeah, and there's a Premier League game as well. I can't remember which one it was. It's quite recent.
So, right.
I'm not saying he doesn't do it, but I'm like, where did he do it today? I think it's unfair to pull him up for it today when he did. It's not there. Where was it?
Fair. Very fair.
If you want to go and watch back the game, James, I don't think you do want to do that personally, but
go back and watch this game. I'll watch it.
Yeah, for that one challenge. I think I know what the guy might be talking about. But
okay, so let's go back to listen. If you want to be nitpicky about Martin Odegaard today, I think it's being really nitpicky. He was. You guys nitpick when he doesn't play well, and you nitpick when he does play well. And we're the first on here to call him out if he doesn't play well, and we're huge supporters of Martin Odegaard on this show. And he's been great the last 3 games. And I don't think it's even in question. If you're going to be upset about him ducking out of a couple of challenges, fine. But if he goes in and he gets injured, I bet there'd be some of you saying, what's he doing that for there? Why is he going in for that, knowing his injury record? Albert, Victor Gyökeres, I think in the last 2 games has really solidified for me Kenny Ken's idea that he's a decoy.
Professional decoy.
A professional decoy coined by Kenny Ken. But no, jokes aside, I thought that entire movement for the Declan Rice for the second goal was great.
I got to say this. Some of the people in the chat are killing me, man. Not in a good way. Just some classic comments in there. But yeah. So it's interesting with some of the content creators and your journalists, your broadcasters. It's interesting when we talk about Arsenal, and I think Kai Havertz is a good example in regards to, many people say you don't know football if you don't see what he does off the ball. Victor does a lot of work off the ball. He pulls defenders here, there, and everywhere. Of course, he's going to get bashed over the head with the main thing is that scoring goals. Because I'm sure, Sophie, and James and people in the chat, he wants to score a lot more goals than what he's probably got at the moment. Let's be honest, he's a striker. They're greedy. That's how they're born, you know. But he does do some very good work off the ball. What I would like to see, Sophie, more so, this is not about Victor Gyökeres, is when I see the analysis of him in an Arsenal shirt this season. You know, there's certain people that are quick to mention work off the ball and bringing others into the game and praising them left, right, and centre. And he does the same in it. So it's only 45 minutes against Burnley, or anybody else could have done that. Well, no, not necessarily. You know, as a striker, yes, your bread and butter is to score goals, but there has to be other facets to your game that bring something positive to the side. You mentioned it. Some people in the chat have mentioned echoed what you said, Sophie, in regards to us conceding. And Victor, listen, like I said,
what chance did he have today, Albert? I don't remember him being past the ball. I think there was one incident in the first half where Martinelli broke on the right and he passed the ball to the centre and he passed it too deep to the left.
Sophie, it didn't. I probably had more shot of a chance scoring. No, he didn't. That's the short answer of it. He didn't. I just think I'll finish up before you sort of might want to.
Well, you haven't even answered my question, Albert. It was Victor Gyökeres' impact in that goal.
Yeah, I did answer it.
Do you think you've answered it? Sounds a bit like a Keir Starmer answer, politician's answer. Yeah? All right. Okay. Go on then.
Hey, one thing I will say about him, if he come on and drop the sub-performance that Jesus dropped today, he would be getting annihilated. He would be getting annihilated.
Yeah, someone said it in the chat.
I'm sorry, that was shocking. I mean, to change that front three was bold. All in one go was very, very bold. But other than Saka, I didn't think the other two were good at all. I didn't think Trossard was very good when he come on either. But yeah, I'm like, if he performed like Jesus did coming on, that would have been, people would have been murdering Gyökeres, absolutely murdering him.
I totally agree, and I thought the physicality he provided in that moment was evident. Mikel Arteta, I said this last week, guys. Mikel Arteta loves Victor Gyökeres because he's everything that Mikel loves. Some could argue, well, he doesn't really win duels. I thought today he was strong up front. I think he was really giving them some problems and he was creating spaces. I think he creates spaces for the flank players so much, and it's been so overlooked this season. And why do we concede when Victor is subbed? Who can answer me that out of the two of you brains?
I've got no idea, to be honest with you. It has happened. It's happened quite a few times now, but I've got no magic formula. I would like to see him stand a bit longer, but it seems to be a pattern over the last couple of games where he's bringing Jesus back into the fold a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Sophie, to be totally honest.
I have a theory then, James, if you have one. My theory is that because he holds the defenders, and he is a target man, whether he's a decoy, as Kenny Ken says, or not, it works. They play much deeper, even in their, defensive, if you like, all the kids want to call it the low block, a defensive team. And then the minute Gyökeres doesn't occupy those defenders, it seems to me, all of a sudden, the opposition gets a little gung-ho and pushes up, a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. Now, I'm not a tactician. I'm not the brains when it comes to that type of stuff. But that's what it appears like to me. It appears like they're freed up from worrying about him and this target man. And then we're having to defend more ourselves and deal with this kind of push from the opposition. What do you guys think about that?
No. I mean, this is it. He was bought to be on the end of things and finish these chances, and that would carry you to a title. That's not worked. So again, we're looking at things from a different angle and a different perspective. But yeah, look, when you're up there, and he is a physical player, we've seen that. So it does give defenders a lot to think about and teams a lot to think about. When he comes off, and I said the other day when I was on Purely, Gabriel Jesus coming on for me, or Havertz coming on for me for Gyökeres, isn't a problem, because you could go, right, you've smashed them about all game, and now they're going, they're bringing on the footballers now. Like, they're bringing on the better footballers, the more technical type. So I've got that to think about. That didn't really go well today. However, I agree with you, yeah, Sophie, of course. You can push up on a few more yards because you haven't got that person that's backing into you and getting into you. So yeah, there's definitely meaning to it. But no, people are going to look at it and go, we want the goals. That's what you were bought for. So it's a mixture of both,
Yeah. Well, look, I like it. Again, I have a show ready to go, and it's inspired by the image after the Aston Villa game, where at the very end of the match, Victor and Kai are wearing their, Arsene Wenger zip-ups, and Gabriel Jesus is sandwiched between them in his red Arsenal shirt. And the three of them together, they talk about the goalkeeper committee and club. Well, this was like the striker squad. And I loved seeing that. And I will say it again, and I said it last week, we will not win the title without having a Teddy Sheringham or a Solskjaer. We won't win the title without being able to mix it up front. And why can't all three contribute? Today, Victor Gyökeres made his contribution. And if this leads to a title, who cares about whether or not he scores 20 goals? It's about winning a title as a team. Yeah, of course. Do I want to see him banging the goals? Yes. But you've got to remember who the manager is and how he wants him to play, and stop thinking about how you want him to play. And when Kai comes back, he'll have his impact. Jesus today had zero impact when he came on. This is why some of you that were calling for Jesus to start, he's just not ready. He's been out of the game for a year. He can come on and have a burst, but he's never been consistently consistent. He's never been consistent, right? And he's not that crazy goal scorer, guys. But he's effective. Off the ball, he's been one of our best signings in the MIKEL era. There's no doubt about that. But we're not going to pit them against each other when they can all contribute to a title-winning team. And I think they can.
Yeah, and it was a lovely picture to see. You've got the goalkeeper union there, and mainly one of them plays all the games and all the minutes. So you're hoping and praying, well, I hope the strikers have got that. And yeah, to see that in front of your eyes, yeah, it was a lovely picture, Sophie.
Yeah.
And like you said, they can all contribute.
Well, I like this message. Hi, I just wanted to pop in and say that I'm happy that Highbury Squad exists. Hugs. What a lovely message. Happy New Year to you too as well. Lots of comments coming in about, let's see. Guna Rose says, I'm more disappointed with Saka that he hasn't capitalized on the Gyökeres carrying defenders around him. Olinyai says, zero impact. That's an unfair statement. Today, I think Jesus had zero impact. But that doesn't mean... It doesn't mean that I don't think he can. He was huge against Villa. He's been great, but today he had zero impact, and that's okay because other players won the game. Mm-hmm. Runs with cows. I've missed you guys, but I really enjoyed going totally off the grid a couple of weeks in Scotland. Good for you. Lone Star Londoner says Albert is consistently consistent. Tieno says Jesus may not have had a good game today, but he's better than Gyökeres in every aspect of the game. Gyökeres cannot even control the ball and hold it up. San Antonio says people are just bitching because they want from Gyökeres is not. Thank you. That's why I put that up there. And this is what I keep saying. Do you think Mikel Arteta is a fool? I said this to O'Hara and Pennant on Friday night because we were talking about Gyökeres. I go, is Mikel Arteta a fool? Do you think that he would play Victor Gyökeres when we know he's so ruthless that you guys just think he's a plug-in? If he thought he was So bad. Mikel Merino would be starting up front for us. No doubt about it. Mikel Arteta isn't an idiot. He's not just picking him because he doesn't have any other choices. He does. Trossard can play there. Martinelli can play there. Hell, Eze could probably play there. Merino could play there. There's a reason. And you guys need to go back to what Demsek said and what we've said on this show a lot of times. Mikel Arteta is much closer to George Graham than Arsene Wenger. Mikel Arteta is a blue-collar guy, and Victor Gyökeres is a symbol. Maybe someone should craft a picture of him for me with wearing a blue-collar Albert. That would be nice.
It's interesting. I get it. Like, we're desperate for Arsenal to win trophies, but that should not be hung around a striker that's been here for 4 months. Yes, he would want to score more goals. Of course, he'd want to score more goals. But when you try and not defend him necessarily, so for James, but when you try and give a reason as to why maybe it's not functioning for him yet, it's excuses. He's not been here for 2 years. He's not been here for 3 years. He's come into a new league. He's come into a new team, arguably a better side. So I don't know. Maybe there's expecting. I knew personally he wasn't going to get the volume of goals that he was going to get in Portugal. That's one argument. Okay, do you want to see a bit more from him in an Arsenal shirt? Okay, cool. What kind of runs do you want him to make? You say he's too static. I mean, people have put out show reels of the movement and Arsenal players not finding him. I mean, if you can tell us what else you want him to do, stating the obvious, scoring more goals, then I'm all here for it, man.
Yeah, and you're just Yanto, you're just underlying what we're saying. What I kind of set up here is they're different players, they affect the games differently, and that's why you need all three. And hopefully Kai Havertz, and also the other thing to be very careful, this expectation of Kai Havertz when he gets back. He's been out a long time, guys. Don't expect miracles, and there might be setbacks.
He's already had them as well.
Yeah, and he has. And it can happen. It happens to a lot of players. It's I cover LA Galaxy, as you guys know. Ricky Puig, La Masia, who played for Barcelona, was out with an ACL all last season. Was coming back, super excited, and he's got to have another knee surgery. And this is sometimes when Saka's been such a savior, and when he's not like wearing the cape all the time, we want to pick at him, and we do, and we have. And last week and the last couple of weeks, we've said he's just not up to the standards. But he's had surgery. They look at history of players too. Once you have that type of surgery, you're really scared if you're ever going to be the same player again. Sometimes I think it's like we feel it's like the Terminator with Robert Patrick in 2, where you shoot him a couple of times, he goes down, and he just morphs with the heat of the metal. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. So as much as we want, Robert. Do you know I saw? I digress. Years ago, I was in New York at the famous Ziegfeld Theatre. I love that theatre. And I was there with my mates for Thanksgiving before I moved to the States. And Robert Patrick, we were watching Casino, and getting tickets and buying popcorn in front of me was Robert Patrick and Gary Oldman. You believe that? That was lovely. Had to speak to both of them as well. So anyway, speaking of Gary Oldman, fine actor, played every role. How about this guy, Declan Rice? He's a fine football actor, but the real kind, method, I think. So many characters. This guy's back, Albert, and we didn't miss him because we thrashed Aston Villa. He had a little bit of a rest. Didn't have a great game, but scores a brace. That is a wonderful thing, no?
It's absolutely fantastic. Do I call it twice as right? I forgot to came up with that one. Yeah, listen, I mean, like James mentioned at the top of the show, like, I never saw the comments people saying they didn't want him to start. I was hoping he would come back in, to be quite honest with you. And And so even when he's not at his 100% best, or even go as far to say maybe even fully fit, one thing I've liked about Declan Rice since he's been in an Arsenal shirt, to be honest, Soph, is we've uncovered a set piece demon in Declan Rice. That's a good thing, and he will score more goals for Arsenal. And at the right place at the right time, and one of the best players I see in terms of making runs and getting into goal scoring positions is probably Frank Lampard. And I'm not saying he's going to get to that kind of level in terms of volume of goals, but the more goals he can add to his game is only going to elevate his game even more, because we know about he's off the ball and getting into the right areas to break up play, but completely instrumental today. And thank God he did start. But yeah, he wasn't even fully fit. I mean, obviously he missed the last game due to knee injury, but he came back and said he delivered. And to be honest, I was hoping he'd get a hat trick. That'd have been something, innit, for someone that's not half fully fit. But it's not even his presence, it's his power and his energy and the way he covers ground and gets us 10, 15, 20 yards further up the pitch. And like I said, in the last couple of seasons at Arsenal, he's developed a goal scoring streak, which I think probably he did have it in him. Mikel's obviously must have seen something in regards to that in terms of adding more contributions to the team, or on top of already what he's good at anyway, in terms of off the ball and progressive runs. But if we can keep this guy relatively fit during the course for the remainder of the season, we're not just gonna go a long way in terms of in trying to get the Premier League over the line, but we're in a couple of decent cup competitions as well, so that'd be quite handy. But he's fantastic, man, and his game's only going to develop and get better, because how old is Declan Rice? 25, 26?
27?
Is he? Someone in the chat can find us. But listen, outstanding today, even though he wasn't he's 100% best.
He's going to be 27 on January 14th.
Okay, so I wouldn't even say that's a prime, but he's doing all right so far. But yeah, he's just instrumental and took the goals brilliantly today as well. Great first goal, particularly the placement, which is what Noni should have done in the first half. But yeah, twice as Rice, Declan Rice, man.
Yeah, and the third goal, James, what did you make of goal number 3?
Class. I mean, the whole move and everything, superb. Really, really nice goal. And echo what Albert says, he takes them really, really well. And you know what, Sophie? A couple of seasons ago, it was a very, very hot day, a lovely day up there at Bournemouth. Kai Havertz got given a penalty. He scored it, and a new chant was sung. And that's stuck ever since, and it's boosted him since that goal. Now, Declan Rice doesn't need boosting. However, he scores 2 great goals, and all I could hear on my television was the new chant, Cool and the Gang. I sang it a few weeks ago for Madweki, but it's been changed. That's great. That's great, because he's now got, we had the song about him being, we got him half price or whatever, but this one is more fun. It's an actual song.
Why don't you sing a little bit of it for
I'm
people?
not going to sing. I'm not going to sing again.
Jesus.
These people, people don't want to hear me sing. These people don't like listening to me speak. They're not going to want to hear me sing, Sophie. But it was a really, really well taken goal. And like
that
I
was
said,
Champagne Arsenal, right?
Yeah, and to have basically on one knee to still perform the way he does, and he had a comprehensive performance in that second half, defensively as well as offensively. And you can't knock that. That was an all-action performance from this man. And what a superb player.
Man.
Now I've got this picture that I have for those listening on audio is Declan powering through Semenyo, and it just exemplifies his personality and his character. This image, he looks like a thoroughbred, when it prances, and this determination in his face is just a wonderful thing to see. What a signing Declan Rice has been. He is. If we go on to win a title, which would just be a crime if we don't this season. But this will go down as one of Arsenal's greatest ever signings. He will go down as one of Arsenal's greatest ever signings. He's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable player. And like you said, Albert, even when he's not playing great, he's still, you know, his good is someone's great.
Yeah. So if I think I'll even go back a bit further when we signed him. And I'll probably speak for you guys as well. When the links started with him, and I was fully on board. I even when he's at West Ham and some of the games I've seen play for England, I go back to what I've always said. That quarterfinal against France and Qatar, he was that day for me as a player. I looked, I thought, no, this guy is phenomenal. He's ready to play. No disrespect to West Ham at the time, at a higher level. He was amazing that day, and I think Judges said it to give him credit. He said, I'm not obviously comparing him to a legend in terms of Vieira, but I think he meant in terms of impact and how big a signing this guy could be. And from what he's shown in an Arsenal shirt, even though we haven't won anything with him here at the moment, hopefully that will change very soon, but he's transcended us, Sophie. And that's not a word I use very, very lightly in one of the most key important parts of the pitch. Like I said, his work off the ball, his positioning, his awareness, how he reads the game, and obviously under MIKEL's stewardship in terms of what he does in the final third and getting forward and adding goals. Yes, maybe the short passing game is something he will develop and be a bit better at, like how Thomas Partey did it when he was here in an Arsenal shirt. But yeah, he's been a transcending, game-changing signing, and I don't use those words lightly at all.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really well put. Transcending. There are players that do that. They're more than just a signing. And you know, Declan Rice is and has been completely unstoppable this season, and just absolutely love him. And the good thing is
quickly,
yep.
Sorry, to add to just quickly, I think in terms of when we did sign him, I think we felt as Arsenal fans that when we sort of brought players to the club, it was about the most important thing with getting someone like Rice was to show that we can compete with other sides to get a player of that caliber. And hopefully that has a knock-on effect in terms of the other players that have come to Arsenal, seeing a player who's played in the Premier League for a number of years that Rice has done. It's important. It's important in terms of our recruitment that comes in after him. Zubimendi, i.e., for example, enhancing his game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
You mentioned at the start of the show, Sophie, about Arteta. A lot of the Arteta outers and haters, which for some reason we've been tarnished with that brush the last couple of weeks, when I don't understand that, but whatever. They always go to you, well, what players has he made better than? What players has he made better than? Well, he certainly made Declan Rice a better footballer, because he was bought as a 6, and everyone said he's just a defensive midfielder, and he's gone, throw that out. You're now one of the best number 8s in the world.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
It's such a great point. And
that's a great point as well. He was brilliant at right back. He was.
He was brilliant at right back. You know, Albert making the transformative point, and you, James, you know, talking about for me, right? He is not only what he does on the pitch, but it's the transformative part that Albert's talking about. He's become marketable for the club. He's beloved by fans already. He's become an icon very quickly. I think he's bypassed the cult hero status. The Real Madrid free kicks put him in the icon category very, very quickly. And James, your point about Mikel improving players is so true, right? Even Trossard's better, right?
Yeah, unbelievable.
It really look at Big Gabby. We were worried as if he was going to be that David Luiz Brazilian type, has mistakes in him. We haven't really seen too many, which is why when you see one today, it's so glaring, it smacks you in the face. He's made him better. I would even argue that, you know, Saka's evolved because of MIKEL. MIKEL today, to me, over these, and let's get to the manager. For me, MIKEL has had his best spell as Arsenal manager. This was intense. These fixtures. And the intensity was escalating, you know, one weekend, the next weekend, because Manchester City had found a winning formula again and were finding their form. And do you remember on this show, people gave us shit? And I think you disagreed, James, with me, or someone did, when I was saying people will look back at Sunderland as a great point. And I think, James, you thought it was a dropped point. Albert thought it was a great point. But the point is that he is finding ways to win under pressure now. Now, whether or not that continues in April and May when we're super under pressure, and this better not come to the last day of the season, I will not be able to take it. I'm sorry. I will not be able to. I will relish the day, but I will not be able to take it. My heart won't. But he's done an incredible job managing the squad, the games, getting 12 points, James, all of it. The gaffer, I think, has just been splendid in this December.
Yeah, agreed.
And did you say that after Sunderland? You did, didn't you?
I did say after Sunderland that the way that we had the momentum and what have you, I felt like we dropped that at the end. But yeah, hindsight is a beautiful thing.
Len agrees with you.
They're very, very good at home. You can't knock that. And for them to have 7, I think they're the most affected team due to AFCON.
Yeah.
6 players at AFCON, still big points. Big points, yeah. So yeah, fair play to Sunderland. But back on the Arsenal thing, like you said, with the manager as well. And again, I equate this to Rice and I equate it to Gabriel. You can live vicariously through people if you're struggling. If you, at work, you could have an absolute downtime, but there'll be someone there that might do something that will make you smile, and then you'll go, right, I'm back in it now. You know, I've had a moan, I've had a complaint, or I've made a mistake, but this guy will pull me through. And I saw a lot of comments earlier asking us about Hincapie. I didn't think Hincapie was excellent. However, he made a block in that last 15 minutes. He made a tackle that was so vital and important because they were going through on goal. And as he done that, Gabriel turned to him and just went. Yeah. He was like, yes, yep. He was like, good lad, good lad. And I'm like, that's what I mean. You can live vicariously. The support networks in every single sector. So like I said, there's the goalkeepers union, there's a defenders union. I like the fact that we've got defenders that love winning tackles as well as they love going up the other end and smashing them in the back of the net, because most of our defenders are very good in both boxes. You know, we've seen Timber get assists and goals this season. Calafiori, I think he's a better attacking player at times than he is a defensive player. However, his defending has improved. Don't yell at me. Don't kill me. He's been brilliant this season. That was a weird one, by the way, because I saw him on New Year's Eve on Twitter, jumping up and down on the tables, dancing. And then MIKEL, he can't play. Well, he looked all right New Year's Eve, MIKEL, having a dance and that in the restaurant. He looked fine, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, you know what? I love it. Yeah, get it done.
You know what? Let it be a hard time for everyone.
Exactly.
Len, to get back into the starting 11. This is what we've dreamed of. This is the team that we've always wanted. Is no one's guaranteed a start, and you have to fight for your position. It was a little bit too automatic for some players over the years at the Arsenal, and it isn't like that anymore. And I like it. Don't be dancing on a table on New Year's Eve after being injured and then expect to just come straight back into the team. I'm not starting any gossip. Lone Star, this has made my day. Soph lifts me up on a bad day. I appreciate that. And hope all is well with you, Lone Star. I haven't seen you in chat for a bit, so hope everything is okay with you. Some of you asking for Newman. He's probably tantruming again. He doesn't even realize that I actually just want to give him this coin and he's not showing up. And, you know, I'm just going to say, like, Tammy, if you speak to him, tell him he's got to show up. That's just how it works. He probably wants to do more art. I don't think he actually wants the coin. I think he wants to prolong this for as long as possible because it keeps him relevant. You know, it's just the way it is. So we'll see how that pans out. The Squaddies Daily Rocks. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I didn't do any of the promos over. Do you know what? I'll give away the coins in January. It's something to look forward to, because over Christmas, everything's oversaturated. Everyone gets a lot of stuff. So I do have some stuff to give away. And I just thought, you know what? Let's do it in January when some people need a lift. Because once the holidays are over, you kind of go into this dip. And it's, some people like it, the fact that the holidays are over. Some people can't, deal with it. Some people just wait for the next one. So I don't know. We'll do something. We'll do something for everyone. Now I'm just waffling. All right. Who's your player of the match? Everyone get stuck in. James, who is your POTM today?
It can only be one man, can't it?
Wow.
Declan Rice. Declan Rice, I like it. I got it wrong, by the way. It's Casey in the Sunshine. I got my 70s disco bands.
Oh.
Carry on. Sing a little bit more. Go on. Go on.
I've done the full chant, haven't I?
You got it.
Yeah.
You've done it. Okay. Keep up.
Yeah, very good. Go on, James. One more time. Hit it.
Declan Rice, I like it. Declan, where's the chart? Everyone said will sing with me in the comments. I'm not seeing it being typed in.
I've never really gone.
Well done, James.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Okay, Albert, who's your player of the match?
Well, let's have a wild stab in the dark.
You better sing it as well, Albert.
No, I'm not bloody singing it. Declan Rice by a country mile. Declan Jollof Rice. Come on, Declan. Yes, well done. You put that in the chat.
James,
well done,
James.
Well done.
You're getting a lot of love. Well done. Give James some rice. Jim Rice. James.
I'll take it. I'll take the rice. I like rice. I like rice a lot, especially tonight. Double helpings.
Yes.
I'll have double rice. Don't mind that at all.
I think he's going to get all the accolades and he'll be player of the match. He's going to run out of space. There's no doubt about it. I do think there's room for Odegaard to be considered as man of the match. I think some of his through balls the last two matches have been really incredible. And I hope, thanks to Guna Chris, Arsenal N7, for the Maestro Martin Odegaard photograph. I do think he's back. But Declan Rice is the man of the match. You score a brace. You deserve to be man of the match.
You going to sing it, Sophie?
No.
You're the only one with the voice.
Not really. Okay, what about Le Gaffer? What are we giving him? What are we giving the brains that is Mikel Arteta? I love this Under Armour photo that looks like the Minority Report one that I put up. He just looks like, damn, I just hope he wins to back all this shit up. I really do. Hope that he wins the Premier League to back up all this young Professor Einstein-esque persona. I give him today, for me, the Gaffer gets a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
He does. Gets a 10 out of 10. You come out of those fixtures and, as I said, you get all those points, right? So let's reiterate. Away to Bournemouth, 3-2. At home, 4-1 versus Aston Villa. 2-1 against Brighton. We beat Crystal Palace in a tough EFL Cup quarter-final. Mm-hmm. We go to Everton, a bogey team, and we win 1-0. We play Wolves, who could have embarrassed us. But now when you look at Wolves and, getting their stuff together a little bit, still no excuses, but we won 2-1. We ground that out. We won 3-0 away to Club Brugge a long time ago now, but that was on December 10th. And we lost to Aston Villa on December 6th, right? So since that Villa loss, we have not skipped a beat.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yep. Bam, bam, bam. He's regrouped the players. And for me, he gets a 10 out of 10 for especially the performance in the second half against Aston Villa and the second half here against Bournemouth?
I mean, I
Albert?
don't want to take any credit for going to the Villa game, obviously, because I was there. But no, Sophie, no, you're right, you know, because the thing is, you look at the run of games we had over that period, and I think winning breeds confidence, right? And if, you know, you're the gaffer, you're the main man. When you get used to winning, I mean, it's a nice feeling, isn't it? So, as someone keeps saying to me, there's no easy games in the Premier League, and that's been proved throughout a course of different game weeks in the Premier League to with certain clubs that are going for a league title. So now the gaffer deserves 10 out of 10, man. Listen, keep the winning going, man. Winning's a good habit. It's a good habit, and the boss is doing it at the moment.
Albert, James?
Yeah, I'm the same as you. Give him the big tens today. Give him the big tens. I just, like Albert said there, you got to keep winning, and especially next Thursday for me, because I do not like who we're playing next Thursday. So I need that 3 points next Thursday, please.
Okay, so our next game is on Thursday, the 8th of January. It is another 8 p.m. kickoff, but it is at home and it is against Liverpool. And this is...
Get 'em beat.
Once again, we talk about must-win games. The Aston Villa game felt like the biggest game of the season at the time because, of course, Villa were on our tails. They bounced back against Nottingham Forest earlier today as well. Credit to them. This is huge. Liverpool at home in the form that they've been in, and a little payback for that first game of the season, which...
It's personal, so it's personal for me.
It's personal. We have to beat them. We have to beat them. Shall I say that one more time? We have to beat them. We don't want to do any early predictions for Liverpool. There's going to be plenty of time to talk about Liverpool. And who knows, some Liverpool legend may show up on this show again to talk about it. You know, in his fearful manner, he fears us now. He fears us.
So if you know these big accounts that support Liverpool, but yet they make Arsenal videos like half the time. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand these big accounts that support other teams, but yeah, they make 7 videos a day about Arsenal. It's coin. It's definitely coin. There's no other way for it. But wouldn't it be amazing that all of them, the way they've spoken about Victor Gyökeres, if there was a game that he could score in and win us it would be romantic. Because they have gone for him all season. Their fans especially have gone in 2-footed on him. And it would just be so beautiful if he could absolutely muller him next week.
Come on.
Absolutely muller him.
Do you know what? This has been, you know, when you win a title, there's moments, defining moments in a season. You go back to certain games. You know, Noni's just been good coming in. He's been solid, you know. The Champions League goal, brilliant moment for him. Eze had his seminal moment, scoring a hat-trick in the North London derby. Maybe he thinks he peaked at that point, but the goal against Crystal Palace, he's had his seminal moment. Doesn't matter what kind of Tottenham team is, you score a hat-trick in a North London derby, that's a seminal moment, right? I mean, you know, Norgard coming up and playing in defence against Club Brugge when we needed him to, hasn't really been around. That was a good performance. I think Mosquera has come in and done really well in Capier. A lot of you, and there was someone pushing like he was crap. If you don't notice a player too much, it doesn't mean that they had a bad game. And for me, he was a player today that worked in the shadows for sure, as did Jurrien Timber again. It's time. Zubimendi's been brilliant. Okay, he hasn't been great the last couple of games, but he has been our signing of the season so far. I mean, he's just been fantastic. Victor Gyökeres has been solid. He's been better than people think, and he's brought more to this team than people think. But if he gets a goal against Liverpool and has that seminal moment, James, I concur. It would be special. It really would.
I might do a watch along. See if I can squeeze that in.
I like
They
it.
are
It
hilarious.
says
Yeah,
Arsenal hate alongs are
yeah,
joyful. They are.
yeah.
Do you know
They
who
do
cracks
pop
me
up.
up the most? Who's the
There's a few,
guy?
sorry.
There's a Liverpool guy who smokes a vape a lot of the time when he's doing it,
Oh, God, I know
and
that.
he doesn't even react. He doesn't scream or anything. I think he's from the Middle East, I want to say.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you just said it. Yeah,
Is it Hussein or something? Is it Don Hussein or something? He calls
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And he would just go, Arsenal scored again. Oh God. And he doesn't react. He has a little puff, doesn't react. It's the way he says it. And
that's
there they are.
That's it.
And
yeah,
he goes,
hilarious.
Just accept it, everyone, accept it. Arsenal going to win. He's funny. Like the guys who scream and whatever. Expressions is the YouTube star. I mean, his stuff that he does is brilliant. I mean, his one-liners, the way he cuts it all together.
It's more hilarious when they do with their own clubs. I mean, some of them are TV gold, man. Matisse and Said, when the team's playing, they lose. It is classic gold, man.
Yeah, this guy's funny. Don Hussam. He's funny. He's expressionless, yet he says it all without too much. Really funny. He is the best, I think, expressions. There's no doubt about it. His videos, the way they're cut together as well, because of course there's jump cuts and stuff from a production value as well. Is very good and very talented. I think he's the kind of guy that could probably get a couple roles in a film as well and be funny. Right, that's it, kids. We're going to talk more about Liverpool next week. Is it Friday or Saturday today? What day is it?
Saturday. It's definitely Saturday.
Saturday, right. Gosh. Do you know?
If it's Friday, I'm in trouble because I didn't go to the office.
James, I came off air the other day to Tony and I said, oh, God, thank God, a couple more days till New Year's Eve. She goes, what are you talking about? It's tomorrow. And I said, wait, I just wrapped the show telling them I was going to do a New Year's Eve show. And thinking it was, this switching off over the holidays is so great, but at the same time, you kind of get lost. It's like summer holiday when you go away and you don't know what day it is, time it is, or whatever. And I literally thought that it was New Year's Eve in 2 days. And it was, and so you were all wishing me a happy New Year, and everyone was like, I'm like, come on, there's not even a couple more days. Let's keep it rolling. But yeah. What have you boys got coming up? Tell the kids. Anything interesting?
Me and James Albert. No, I want to line up some guests, some double act guests to come on my channel. James is one of them. He just doesn't know the other person who's coming on yet. You get on well with him, James. You get on well with him, so it's all right.
Cliffhangers.
Thank
God. No, it's not. Prevagan, I know. No, I don't need that. That's Lone Star Londoner telling me what I need to take from my memory and stuff like that. James, what have you got coming up? Purely Arsenal? Anything?
Yeah, we'll probably have one out after today's win, and then probably be something going up on my own channel later on within the week as well. Just quickly, Sophie, in terms of movies this week, didn't watch any. However, over New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day, I binged Mobland in one go.
Oh,
I'm late to the
good.
I'm late to the party, but my God, what a party! What a party I had! Awesome.
How amazing is Helen Mirren in that?
Oh, her and the kid. I was like, I hope you get. If there were two that were going to die, I was like, I hope you two get it because but that's good acting. To make me hate you like that is good acting, and they were both superb.
Oh, Mobland is great. It really is brilliant.
Roll on season 2. I can't wait.
Yeah, really great. I can't wait to see that. Let's see. Did I see another film? No. Do you know what I've started doing over the holidays when I can't sleep? Is I've been watching Mad Men right back from season 1 because it's my favorite season, my favorite series ever, and I've been enjoying that a lot.
I'm a huge Christina Hendricks fan.
It is.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
On as we speak.
Is it? All right, let's go watch some darts. Is it? Okay. We'll be back soon. Look out on the community page for the next show. You guys, another 3 points for the Gunners. We are top of the table. It's a beautiful thing. Our team stats today, 14 shots for Bournemouth, 11 for ours. We had 5 on target. They had 3, 58% possession for us, 447 passes compared to their 294. 86% pass accuracy, 8 fouls for us, 13 for them, 1 yellow card for us, 3 for them. 1 offside each, 7 corners for Bournemouth, 5 corners for the Arsenal. Currently, Arsenal are in first position, 48 points. Aston Villa second with 42. Man City, 41. They have a game to play. Liverpool with 33 points, and they are our next opponent. It's so funny, isn't it, how football works? What a year 2025 has been. Let's hope 2026 is the year for our club. And just a few weeks ago, Enzo Maresca was the second coming, and Chelsea were going to win the title after Arsenal failed to beat a 10-man Chelsea. I gave Chelsea maybe too much credit that day. And here we are. Enzo Maresca is gone, and the likes of Mikel Arteta are still here. Stability is important. And hopefully that stability will yield silverware in 2026. All right, kids, we'll see you soon. Take care. And don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them at ease, squaddies at ease. 121 minutes? 1 hour, 21 minutes. Damn.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.